Hello guys, welcome to my channel. So in this video I'm going to answer biology paper 2, the paper which was written in 2025 for GCE. So if you haven't subscribed to my YouTube channel, kindly do so for more videos. So this question is coming from genetics, and it is saying a man who had normal vision married a woman also with normal vision. They had a son, or they had a colorblind son. Colorblindness is sex-linked. Using alleles X to the power capital B and X to the power small b, predict the genotypes of the man and his wife. So to start with, let me try to explain what genotype is. So in terms of genotype, genotype is defined as the genetic makeup. Okay, it is defined as the genetic makeup, or you can say the internal appearance of a living organism. That is what genotype is all about. Now, one thing that you need to know is that genotype is represented by alleles, and alleles, they go in pairs. So if you have A, you need to have another letter. Let's say you have A and B. This one is representing the pair of alleles. That is one thing that you need to understand here. Now let's come back to this point here. In the question, they have mentioned sex-linked. Sex-linked, it is a characteristic or genetic disorder which occur on the X chromosome. Usually for the sex chromosomes, we have X and Y. So when you have X and Y occurring in pairs, this one is going to represent the sex chromosome for the male. Then when you have X and X, these they are going to represent the chromosome for the female. That is one thing that you need to understand here. Now, I'm from saying that sex-linked characteristic does not occur on the Y chromosome. Okay? It doesn't occur on the Y chromosome. It only occurs on the X chromosome. Okay. So what we are going to do here, we are going to say, if we have a man who is having X and Y, meaning a man can't be a carrier. What I mean about being a carrier is like this. We have a female who is having X and X. Then here we can say X to the power capital B and X to the power small b. This one is representing a carrier. Okay, why? Because here we are having a recessive. A recessive, usually it is represented by a small letter. Okay, when you talk of a carrier is a person who just carry a certain disease or disorder but is not affected by that certain disorder. So what we are going to do here, since the question is saying they had a son with color blindness, so for them to have a son who is having color blindness, we are going to do like this. Since a man can't be a carrier, and here in the question they are saying the man had a normal vision, so we are going to say a man is going to have X to the power capital B, then Y. Okay, but for the female or the wife is going to be a carrier. For us to have a son who is going to have color blindness. So we're going to say it is X to the power capital B, then X to the power small b. So to answer this question, for the man, it is X to the power capital B, then Y. For the female, X to the power capital B, then X to the power small b. So those are the answers for question A. Then question B, it is saying draw a genetic diagram to show how this was possible. So we need to show how this one was possible for them to have a son with color blindness. Okay, so let's continue. The first thing that we are going to start with is going to be the phenotype. So in talk of phenotype, it is an outward appearance of a living organism. Okay, something that you can see outward and you are able to identify and distinguish. So we have a man close with a wife. Then the next point or the next part is going to be the genotype. Genotype is just the genetic makeup, genetic composition of a living organism, and we usually present genotype by using alleles. So for the man, we are going to have X to the power capital B, then Y, close with a female who is having X to the power capital B, X to the power small b. The next part is going to be the gametes. So here we are going to split the gametes. So here we have x with the to the power capital B. Then here we have y. Here we have x. Then here again we have x. So what we are going to do here, we are going to close this one to this one. Then we are going to have x to the power capital B, then x to the power capital B. Again, this one is going to be close with this one. So we're going to have x to the power capital B. Again, x to the power capital, let me say small letter b. Okay. Then again, y is going to be close with this one. So what we are going to have here is going to be x to the power capital B, then y. Then again, y is going to be close with this one. Then we are going to have x to the power small letter b, then y. So as you can see here, what we have here, we can say this one is going to be F1 genotype. Okay. So on this part here, as you can see, a man or a female, let me say a man or a male can be a carrier. So at least on this genetic diagram we have one offspring who is male, who is having a recessive allele. So we can say this one is going to be a normal female, and this one is going to be a normal female as well, but this one is going to be a carrier. And this one is going to be a normal male, and this one is going to be a color blind son. So that is one thing that you need to understand here. So now, to describe what we have here, we are going to say this one is going to be F1 phenotype. So for F1 phenotype, we are able to identify that this one is normal, this one is having color blindness. Okay. Then the next question. So the next question is saying, one of the causes of color blindness is mutation. Define mutation. So in talk of mutation, mutation can be defined as the change in gene structure or the number of chromosomes. So that is what mutation is all about. Usually we have two types of mutation. Okay. So far we have gene mutation and chromosomal mutation. Then the last one is saying explain one cause of mutation. So we have many causes of mutation. Now the easy ones are, first one is going to be exposure to radiation.